on an all-new Dr. Phil. She lives with her adult sons.
I walk into the door, it reeks.
So you don't want them smoking dope, but they do it at home.
She'll smoke with us.
Yes, I have.
Then you come up the next day acting like you've never done nothing wrong.
But who's the bully?
You've bitten JT.
But let me tell you why.
Wait a minute, okay, so you're gonna now justify it. What are you two doing living with your mother? This is sick. This is a sick codependence that you need to sever. Today's gonna be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Lisa says she's proud to have raised two sons, 24-year-old JT and 20-year-old Jacob, by herself as a single parent. She claims as the sole provider, she gave her children everything to a fault. Because now she says her sons are spoiled rotten. Elisa says she went from being best friends with her sons, almost like the Three Musketeers, to being on the receiving end of their constant disrespect. Now, she now says her sons are hateful potheads who refuse to move out. JT and Jacob agree that things at home are not going well, but claim it's their mom's fault because she is an abusive bully who is holding them back in life. So who's telling the truth here? Well, let's hear from Elisa first.
My sons, Jacob and JT, are absolute potheads.
There you go. Okay.
I walk into the door, it reeks.
Just hit it.
She'll smoke with us.
I have done that, yes, I have.
I raised my sons as a single mom. We used to be so close. In 2011, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. My boys were my rock during the whole thing. Now it's like my boys are angry people every day. All they do is act like rude, entitled, spoiled brats.
No, you never let me speak.
You never let him speak. You keep cutting me off.
My oldest son, JT, is so impatient, irresponsible, and he has a terrible temper.
You look at me like I'm crazy because I'm downstairs just in my own world. I'm trying to let you be you and have whatever you got going on and let me be me.
Right now, JT works at a retail store doing loss prevention. JT gives me about $600 a month. It's like pulling teeth trying to get that money from him because the rest of his money, he usually spends it on weed.
And then you'll guilt trip me. It's not about how you feel. It's about something that you say that you think that'll make me feel bad about what I'm doing already.
My younger son, Jacob, is a big mouth. He's a know-it-all. He's lazy.
Plus, every time I'm around you, I have to hold a certain face because you're calling me a bitch.
He just sits on his ass, plays video games, and doesn't go to work. Everything I say, it becomes an argument with Jacob.
Oh, Jacob, you're a manipulator as well.
I'm not a manipulator. I'm a know-it-all.
When he was younger, I used to tell him, "You're so sweet." I'd say, "I need some of that brown sugar." Now, Jacob hates me.
Because you tell us you don't care about me. You don't love me.
Guilt tripping.
It's not a guilt trip, it's how I feel.
Sometimes I feel like I should move out of state and start over without my boys. I don't need this in my life.
Well, Elisa, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
You're in conflict with both of your boys, right?
Yes, I am.
I mean, and they're kind of a team, kind of a pair.
Now they are. They're bullies.
And do they gang up on you?
Every day.
And you raised them. In fact, you've told us you take great pride in that you raised these boys as a single parent.
Yes, I do.
And
I take
sometimes
great
as
pride.
adults, we talk about these younger kids, the younger generation, as though we had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You had everything to do with it. You wrote on the slate of who they are. So what did you write on the slate of these two boys that's made them the way they are?
I mean, they first started off to be these sweet little boys, but now they're just out of control. And I think it started with them smoking the marijuana. I believe that that's what made them go downhill because now they're just disrespectful. They tell me to shut up. They call me a bitch. They treat me like one of the hoes from the street. I mean, they're just over the top.
You said the marijuana, they started smoking marijuana. that changed them, so we have that, but that's one thing. Is there anything else you would put on the list? Anything that you own?
Well, I could say that obviously I spoiled them, so that was not good.
Well, I made a list of the things that you call spoil, I call enabling them.
Okay.
But tell me if you agree with these things. I mean, you say you want them to leave, but yet you provide housing for them.
Well, yeah,
You pay the utilities, the groceries, you do their laundry,
I do.
and they say you're very controlling, but at the same time, they live a rural and expectancy-free life. They just
Right.
kind of come and go as they want, do as they choose. You say you don't want them smoking dope, but they do it at home,
Right.
and you've done it with them.
Yes, I have. I've
And you
tried
drive
it.
them to pick it up.
Yes, I do. Well, I have. So I have tried it with them because I was trying to connect because I felt like we were disconnecting.
Yeah, how'd that work for you?
That didn't work at all. I mean, but I only did it like 3 times, but I'm not trying to justify. I know it's wrong.
Well, no, actually, you are.
They're very big bullies. They make me feel so much pressure. They are always on me, on me, on me. Everything I do is wrong. I obviously did not know how to discipline them
So you do
when
have
they were
some
younger.
ownership in this.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, you used a lot of words to describe these young men that you took great pride in raising.
Yes.
And here are the ones that jumped out at me. This is JT. Dope fiend, horrible tempered, impatient, disrespectful, irresponsible, looks like a freak when he's smoking, and addict. With regard to Jacob, dope fiend, big mouth, know-it-all, lazy, sits on his ass, irresponsible, disrespectful, arrogant, entitled little boy, liar, manipulator, and addict. So,
Well, I mean, I don't know for a fact they're an addict. It just appears that way because when my oldest son...
wait a minute. Let's not hang up on the last word I said.
Okay.
Look at the screen. This is how you describe the young men that you raised.
Right, that I took pride in raising.
Yeah, great job, Mom. I
Right.
mean, you're grading your own paper here.
Right. Which I'm so disappointed in myself. Yes, I am. I know I've messed up. That's why I'm here. Because I'm trying to get somebody that can help us reset, as you say, the reset button. I've watched your show for many years.
Why'd you let him drop out of school?
The youngest one, how could I stop him?
You're his mother. You install expectancies. You install a pattern of life, a hierarchy within the family, and expectations of a young man to prepare him for the next level of life.
I didn't know how to do that. I can tell you this.
You
the way
decided to
that-
be their friend.
Yes. And I already know. I've watched your show. You say you can never... I've heard you say something about you can't be your kid's friend. But for some reason, I was always trying to be their friend because when they were little, I used to share half custody. And
Oh,
so,
you can be their friend, but that's not your primary job.
I know.
All right, coming up, Elisa's 20-year-old son, Jacob, and 24-year-old son, JT, they've been listening backstage. They say they're not the problem.
Right.
They say their mother is a bully
Right.
and sends mixed messages. Anyway, we'll talk to them after the break.
My mom plays victim a lot. She loves for us to react. Always play
Jacob,
confused like you
you
don't
have
know
to
what's going on.
understand.
We got into an argument because you talked about something for an hour.
My mom is loud, attention seeking, she's overbearing.
That's because
And that's
my
why
mind
he got
skips
mad.
all over
And
the
that's
place.
why.
Living at home is hell.
And later, I haven't met a lot of parents that bit their adult child.
But let me tell you why. That was my only...
Wait a minute. Okay.
You know why I
Parent
bit him?
justifying biting child.
My boys are so disrespectful, they gang up on me all the time. One time, JT told me I should have never had children. They have called me a bitch and told me that I'm
The worst weapon that you have is your mouth.
They always tell me that I'm dumb, and they tell me to shut up. That makes me want to just punch them right in their face.
You have a problem with everybody. You always talk about how you're always angry.
They're always demanding money for food or transportation. I'm tired of being ignored, dismissed, and disrespected in my own house. They want to be treated like men. They say they're men, but they don't act like men.
Well, Elisa claims she was once close to her two sons, JT and Jacob, who she called her best friends. But 2 years ago, she says they completely changed. Her son says it's their mom who causes all the problems. So here's their side of the story.
My mom has anger management problems, and she takes it out on me and my brother Jacob.
Every time I say that you're angry, you say, so what? Is that okay?
Well, that's because you doing that to me is provoking.
Me and JT feel forced to react to all of our mom's chaos. My mom plays victim a lot. She loves for us to react.
Always play
Jacob,
confused like you
you
don't
have
know
to
what's going on.
understand
We got
me.
into an argument because you talked about something for an hour.
That's because
And that's
my
why
mind
he got
skips
mad.
all over
And
the
that's
place.
why.
If I'm not working, I'm home smoking weed. It's like my glass of wine at the end of the day.
Smoking weed helps us suppress our feelings with our mom to whatever she's trying to do to frustrate us.
My mom is loud, attention-seeking, she's overbearing. Recently, me and my brother worked at a retail store together.
You've caused conflict at every job that we've worked at together.
I told you, Mom, you can't use my employee discount. It's for me or a spouse.
My mom has no filter, and she just started going off on the cashier. It was completely embarrassing.
My mom likes to create drama. My mom knows I'm a germaphobe, and she'll touch my straw just to piss me off.
I've admitted that I'm not a good mom.
Mom,
I've
that's not
admitted
the
that I'm
point.
immature.
Then you come up the next day bold and acting like you've never done nothing wrong.
Living at home is hell. I never thought I'd be living with my mom at age 24. She tries to guilt trip me by saying if she left, nobody would ever look for her.
I was a lot more vulnerable than I am now.
Right.
I will look at that and think, if something happens to you, I'm gonna go crazy. I need my mom.
As soon as me and JT started showing independence, that's when my mom started to get even more angry.
I used to take pride in being around my mom, and now it hurts me because we can't even get along.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
First, let me ask you anything you are just driven to say after listening to the conversation we've had first.
Absolutely. Back in 2015, my life was really in shambles. I was really broken at that time. I was getting around the wrong people, and so I decided to go to church.
So why did you stop doing that?
I stopped going because after a while, I was getting tired of being ostracized by my mom for going, being questioned all the time, being yelled at. You know, it was very abusive in the household during that time.
And you went with your brother.
Yes.
And so you took him along with the girl you were dating?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
he didn't. But JT
And he
didn't go the whole.
excuse me. He was into it at the time, right?
Yeah, we both were.
I can't tell you how many millions of parents out there would be saying, oh my God, these boys were going to church. They wanted to go and spend time and
Right.
But excuse me,
with the Lord, and
Exactly.
their mother
a lie.
disrupted
You
the
didn't go to
situation.
church
How
the
did she
whole time.
disrupt it?
She said, I don't think you should go anymore. I said, why? She's like, your grades are really bad. I said, Mom, my grades have always been bad. That was when I was around wrong people. They're pushing me to get an education. They're telling me school is important. They were changing my mindset. And I said, Mom, I just need some strength. And she screamed in my face, well, get some strength then. And then after that, I never wanted to be around her.
Really, that's an odd response.
Okay, but let me
So,
tell you
yeah.
why.
Okay, I'm all ears.
because when he was going to that church, I felt like he was being fake. And I grew up in church, so I understand the church thing.
If he's hanging with the wrong crowd, then he starts hanging with the church crowd, and you think, well, this isn't totally genuine. What difference does it make to you? I mean, it seems to me like that is a huge improvement.
That's true. But when he would come
No,
home,
but, wait a minute, no, but, that's a huge improvement, right?
yes, it is.
So why would you disrupt that?
Because when he would come home, he totally disconnected from me and my other son. I felt like he kind of just spit us out when we all used to be so close, the three of us.
So you were jealous of the church.
I don't feel like I was jealous.
Well, it sounds to me like he started bonding with someone besides you, and you got
Maybe.
threatened and said, okay, we gotta blow this up.
Absolutely.
I never thought of it that way.
Definitely.
Well, Elisa says she's had to defend herself against her bigger and stronger sons who have gotten physical with her. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, and I want to hear really where all of this tension comes from. We'll be right back.
We're talking about the time when I got mad and I caught the girl in my
No,
house.
that's
and I
what you're
jumped her.
talking about. Since you want to interrupt this situation and be the center of attention again, then we'll just do that.
My mom is definitely a bully. She starts most of the physical altercations.
You've definitely gotten in our face and tried to, what you gonna do?
I know that. Last year, I found out that JT had a girl in my house. I instantly went home and saw him walking with the girl. I tried to jump on him because I was so angry. He reacted with rage and forcefully grabbed my arms. I ended up with a bunch of bruises.
When you get wound up and when you get going, it gets me going too.
One time she got really mad because we were not paying attention to her. She grabbed my art stuff and just threw it on the floor. I got mad, so I flipped the couch and I broke the window.
She says that when we were kids, nothing went on. She stuffed me in a toy box and I threw up.
Yeah, I did do that.
The other night, we were making tacos in the kitchen.
I smelled something burning, so I went downstairs. I was scared they were gonna start a fire because they were so high. Jacob said, "We don't need your help, we're grown-ups."
My mom shoved me. I got really upset and I grabbed her by the shoulder and she swung at me.
My brother shoved my mom on the table and I had to break them up.
I'm not a physical person, but my mom really brings that side out of me.
All right, JT, let's talk about this relationship that you had. Was she threatened by that?
Oh, yeah. Calling it all the time, always wanted to.
But I don't want women and girls in my house.
We're talking about the relationship I had, not the person I brought over to the house.
Okay, but I just meant in general.
I
Yeah,
was
well, I'm
not
talking
around.
to JT right now, so go ahead.
We were never around the house when I was in a relationship. I was at her house.
I know, but we're talking about the time when I got mad and I caught the girl in my
No,
house.
that's
and I
what you're
jumped her.
talking about. It sounds very much to me, since you want to interrupt this situation and be the center of attention again, that we'll just do that for a second.
Okay.
It seems to me that you have changed these young men into surrogate partners for you.
Right.
And become very
agree.
jealous and threatened whenever they turn their attention away from you to someone else. Your mother got sick,
Yes.
and she says during that time, you two were her, quote, little protectors.
Yes.
Okay.
She had colon cancer,
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God.
and that was a hard time for y'all.
Yeah, and she's been sick her whole life.
Her whole life.
Yeah.
I have had 9 brain surgeries
Right.
as well.
Always had that, like, you know, that need to make sure that she's just okay, you know, that she can just make it to the next day, you know, whatever. This is why I have problems with her, is because, like, she says that she loves us, that she supports us, but whenever we try to do something outside the house, that's when she wants to, you know, just pile all her problems on us.
But she gives you a lot of contradictory messages.
Yeah.
That I can see. Like
Yeah.
she says, move out.
Yeah.
But then
Get
she
out,
admits to
Exactly.
letting you stay, and
Yeah.
it makes it hard for you to go away.
Yeah.
She says, follow the rules, but then she admits that there aren't any set rules.
Exactly.
Right.
She says, don't smoke, but then admits to smoking with you and actually driving you to get marijuana.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She says, go to school, and then admits to not requiring either of you to even finish school.
Yes.
She says, show some respect, but then calls both of you insulting names.
I agree with everything you're saying.
It's a damn if you do.
It's
damn
like
if
I
you
don't know
situation.
I don't know how to be a parent.
She can
I've
admit
done the best
something.
I could.
She can admit something and defend it all at the same time. Yeah, I called you that, but this is why I called you that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard the justification
Yeah.
since she got out here. I just labeled it for her. But you are trying to justify it, right? You didn't come here to change. You came here to
No.
defend.
No, I want to change.
No.
Yes, I do.
We had
Yeah.
a conversation.
Do you think that you're being childlike with them?
Yes, I think I'm very childlike every day of my life.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I know how to be a grown-up. I don't think I've ever known how to be a grown-up.
Because I haven't met a lot of parents that bit their adult child.
Right.
You've
Well,
bitten JT.
But let me tell you why. That was my
Wait
only.
a minute. Okay, so you're going to now justify it.
Yeah.
Well, of
I just
course.
want to label this.
Okay, but I
we're
wanna tell you-
justifying a parent. Let me be sure I got this under the right category.
You know why,
Parent
Biddy?
justifying biting child.
Okay,
go
but
ahead.
let me tell you why. He had my head like this. Was holding my head. I couldn't move my head.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I had was my mouth.
She came at the stairs and said something burning. I was upset, so JT answered her and said, no, there's nothing burning. She comes downstairs half naked already, which grosses me and JT out.
What do you mean? Came down half naked.
She had bra and
Oh,
panties
my
on.
bra and my
She'd be trying
underwear.
to sit on our bed and stuff like that. I'm like, that's just nasty. Like,
After we kind of mentioned it to certain people, that's when she started putting on a shirt. But before that, it was bra and panties, and it would be very disgusting. We don't want to see her like that. She goes to the bathroom with the door open. We have to see that. She comes out, she's not wearing anything. We have to see that. It's so gross, and it's one of those things for me that torments me every day. How many times have we had conversations just by ourselves?
Kind of hard to unsee that.
Exactly.
yeah.
Coming up, Jacob claims he spends his days getting high, playing video games, and studying for his driver's license. while JT, who has studied art, works at a retail store. So why are these two highly intelligent young men so completely unmotivated, dependent on their mother? What the hell is going on here? After the break. What the hell are you doing living with your mother?
I tried to leave when I was 18.
And you tried to leave. I saw you walk out here. Your feet work, your legs work.
I believe my mom has sabotaged us so that we can't prosper and move forward in our life. In high school, I started going to church to seek direction and discipline. As soon as I started doing that, my mom told me she didn't want me to go anymore.
After graduating high school, I attended the Academy of Art. And I stopped going because my mom wanted me to give her all my attention and just not focus on my schoolwork.
Maybe I have sabotaged my kids' lives, not on purpose. I feel like everything is my fault. I feel like you can hang me on the cross and crucify me.
Okay, well, let's get one made. Let's get a cross made up. We'll hang you and crucify you. And then
I'd rather be not here anyway.
maybe you will be in your glory at that point.
No,
but
I
now,
doubt it.
Say something.
so you do what we call in psychology undoing. You'll admit something and then immediately undo it by saying, yes, I did that, but. Well, yes, that happened, but. Well, let me tell you why I did something incredibly inappropriate. So it's like you have no real ownership of anything, but that's one thing. Look, I want to talk to you two because we have sons. Robin and I have two boys. We have great relationships with our two sons. Talk to them, probably every day, one way or another.
Right.
And at like 18 and 1 minute, they were happily crossing the curb. I mean, they were off to college and off into their lives, and she cried all the way home, and I was like, yes! Because I knew we would have a lifelong relationship, and we do. Definitely. But now, my question for you two is, okay, so let's say that your mother has been inappropriate. What the hell are you doing living with your mother?
I tried to leave when I was 18.
And you tried to leave. I saw you walk out here. Your feet work, your legs work.
Right.
What are you two doing living with your mother?
We need to get out of here.
It's just something that I think we've always been used to. I think it's something that we fall back on.
I tried to go back to school before the pandemic, and I was in a math class, and that was the subject I really struggled with at the time. But I was starting to get it. She kept calling me over and over again. She knew I was in school. She had dropped me off, and I'm
Why
already...
are you calling him when you know he's in class?
I don't even remember that. I'm sure I did it. I'm not saying I didn't.
She was taking care of a client at the time. She was on a break, and she wanted to complain to me about one of her clients. So she was very anxious to have me on the phone to tell me everything.
Okay, so she needed you to complain to.
Yeah, we're her reassurance.
Does that not seem wildly inappropriate to you?
Happens
Yes.
every day.
He's trying to get an education. You're sabotaging. He's going to church instead of hanging with the wrong crowd. You're sabotaging that. What? JT's getting in a relationship. No. Anything that doesn't orbit around you, you try to blow up.
Yes, definitely.
And so why are you two not able to break the gravitational pull of this orbit? And I'll tell you why. I think you got problems smoking all of this dope.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't think either one of you have done any research about what that does to your motivation, your problem solving, your clarity, your problem recognition, your initiation, your any of the things that we're talking about. JT and Jacob say their marijuana smoking is just an escape, but is it a much bigger deal than young people like to acknowledge?
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk about that next, and I think they're going to be, well, shall we say, enlightened.
My brother, JT, and I have been very close since we've been little. We lean on each other.
When me and my brother argue, we try to just shut up and let things go. Really helps our relationship.
JT may have a cool head when I don't. He tells me I don't always have to be right, and he calms my emotions.
My brother puts me in check. I put him in check when it comes to issues with my mom.
Without JT, I would be a very broken person. I don't know if I'd be talking to my mother.
I think that she sees that we are a unit, and she tries to destroy that.
I'd like to introduce Dr. Hans Breider, who is a professor of psychiatry and behavioral science at Northwestern University, an adjunct professor at Mass General. He's done a lot of research with Mass General and Harvard University. He's an author of a groundbreaking study that linked casual use of marijuana to major brain changes. Hans, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's great to see you. You're looking great.
Good to see you. Let's just talk, if we can, about what all of your research has found. And you say this has a massive effect on working memory. Can you explain to these young men why working memory is so important and how many cognitive functions it's involved in?
It's at the core of everything you do. So working memory relates to how you take one piece of information, connect it to the next piece of information, to a third piece of information. There may be 3 pieces of information you use in one sentence that you construct. Whether you're speaking, whether you're reading, or you're trying to put together kind of a negotiation point with an employer or with your mother or with your brother. Working memory is at the core of everything we do.
How much IQ erosion do you see or can you see in young men like this that are smoking dope every day and sometimes all day?
So when people talk about IQ, they're talking about 2 fundamental aspects. One is fluid intelligence, which is how well you can adapt your learning to novel circumstances and be innovative and creative. They also talk about crystallized intelligence, which continues to accrue during life and relates to just basically aggregating and better organizing the things you've learned for judgment and decision making. Now, between fluid and crystallized intelligence, fluid intelligence is heavily connected to working memory. And it's at the core of being able to be an artist. It's at the core of being able to feel gratitude and feel spiritual. It's at the core of everything you do. I cannot emphasize how serious a threat to fluid intelligence any decrement in working memory is.
And when you have young men that are using marijuana, certainly not casually as much as they are, their fluid intelligence is going to erode in a measurable, meaningful amount.
Absolutely, unambiguously. You see it also in the context of how well they do in school. We don't call it dope for nothing.
So what do you guys think about what you're hearing?
Honestly, you know, everything he's saying makes sense.
What the doctor is saying to you is every time you smoke marijuana, you're doing brain damage. And so when I ask you, why are you at home with your mother when you're grown men here, this is a big part of that explanation. Your motivation is eroded, your initiative, all of these things that have to do with saying, look, we're grown up. Let's get out and start our lives. Dr. Breider, once again, thank you for coming on here and delivering a clear message about something that is emotionally and psychologically addictive to millions of people. It's so important, and you have such credibility in this field because of your study and your work, and it had a profound effect when you've been on before, and I'm sure it will again. So thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll talk soon. All right, coming up, will Jacob and JT make some serious life changes, even if it means going way outside their comfort zones? Well, we'll find out when we come back. Hey everyone, season 19 is underway.
If you never made it to Hollywood to be a part of the studio audience, well, now it doesn't matter. If you're in Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas, New Jersey, or anywhere else in the world, now you can be a part of our virtual audience.
All you need is a computer and an internet connection. Go to drphil.com and click on Be Part of the Audience for more information.
That's right. Hope to see you soon.
We're talking to Elisa, who says even though she loves her two sons, JT and Jacob, she may have not always encouraged them to be adults the way she should have. Do you really want these young men to be independent and successful?
I need to learn. I need your help with that. I don't know how to do those things.
Intellectually, you recognize that that's the thing that needs to happen.
I do.
But you need help with your anxiety about that because...
With everything. I have anxiety about everything. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong to depend on them.
Yeah, well, here's my question to you two.
Yeah.
Do you get that smoking dope, which is addictive emotionally and psychologically, has taken the place of initiative, motivation, independence?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got two intelligent, healthy, attractive young men living with their mother in an apartment smoking dope all day.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You know, I like what the doctor said, honestly,
Yeah.
Dr. Phil. It makes a lot of sense.
If you need permission
Mhm.
to go out on your own, then let me give it to you from a professional standpoint. You two need to move out.
Yes.
Go live together, find an apartment together, do whatever, and nurture a relationship with your mother. If she needs help, help her, whatever. But you two need to get jobs, get out on your own, live on your own, and start having fun in life. Get excited about something.
Yeah.
Get into your life and stop being tied.
So bad.
This is sick.
It really
Yes,
is.
it
It's
is.
rot-
This
it
is
rots
a
my mind.
sick codependence that you need to sever. And this isn't to punish your mother.
No.
I guarantee you she will do better when she becomes self-reliant as well. And you say, I have anxiety, I don't know how to do this. Yeah, I will help you with that. I will get you professional help with that. I will hook you up with Doctor On Demand, which is our company. So I know I can get this done. I'll get you kickstart. I'll get you 10 sessions with a doctoral level therapist on the face of your computer where you don't have to go sit in a waiting room with sick people and worry about getting infected, where you can start straight away dealing with your anxiety and setting some life goals to live independently and have a healthy relationship with your sons. I'm not asking your sons to cut you out of their life. I'm asking them to have a healthy relationship with you. I'm going to do the same thing with you I did with her.
Yes.
I'm going to set you guys up with Doctor On Demand.
Okay.
Where you can make appointments. It's teletherapy, so you don't have to worry about going and getting...
COVID test.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to set you up with 10 sessions with somebody, so this will give you a good running jump start to plan out what you need in your life and how you need to redefine the relationship with your mother. It will be healthy for you, it will be healthy for your mother, and you need to put the dope down.
Okay.
As he said, there's a reason they call it dope. Dopes. Don't sit around being dopes. Get out and do what you need to do. Fair enough?
Yes.
Definitely.
Coming up, many of you may know my next guest from her 20 years on Good Morning America. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, Joan London joined me to share a very personal story of survival. That's next. Now, my next guest is someone that many of us woke up to for 20 years on Good Morning America. She is the award-winning journalist and author, Joan London. Now, on GMA, Joan frequently shared her life and personal stories. Then, in 2014, she announced that she had breast cancer. And she shared that experience with the world as well. And now she's on a mission to help others. Here's an excerpt from Joan London, Cancer Chronicles.
Breast cancer can happen to anyone. 2-3 days after I got the diagnosis. And here I was in this unique position where all of a sudden I was given an opportunity to learn as much as I could and to share it with others. This is what chemotherapy looks like. Well, I'm back from surgery, and this is the best graham cracker. All right, here I am. This is round 2 of my chemotherapy regimen.
It's Monday morning, January 5th, and this is the first day of my radiation therapy.
Every person that reaches out to me on social media and says, thanks, you took the scary out of it. I knew what to expect. Makes it all worthwhile. Oddly, a horrible cancer diagnosis set me on this mission, but it truly is my mission, and it's one that I'm enjoying, and quite honestly, I think it's the most important assignment that I've ever been given.
Well, joining me is Joan London. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Seriously. No one ever wants to hear the words, you have cancer. What was your initial reaction in that moment that you heard those words?
So I didn't think it would be me. I thought, you know, that 1 in 8 women will hear those words. But boy, when you hear those words, it's like the air is sucked out of the room. And then all of a sudden they said to me, you have an aggressive, very virulent, fast-growing kind of breast cancer. And so you're going to have to go through, you know, months and months of aggressive chemotherapy.
You have 7 children,
Yes, I do.
including 2 sets of twins. How did you handle telling your what a beautiful family, by the way. How did you tell your family?
The older girls, they just literally dropped everything, rallied behind me, and along with my husband, they were there at every single appointment with me. I have twins who are now 14 and 16. At the time, they were, I don't know, 6 and 7, 7 and 8.
Yeah.
So we sat them down and said that I have something like a boo-boo inside of me. And then there was like silence. And then my son said, are you going to die? I mean, they're savvy enough at that point, you know, but
Right.
they got it, the cancer word, that that they were scared of me dying.
Yeah. Now, you not only chronicled your journey on video, but you also wrote a book, Had I Known, a memoir of survival. Why was it so important for you to share your cancer fight?
My dad was a cancer surgeon, and I thought I'd be a doctor. So I always kind of felt maybe a little, I don't know, disappointed in myself that I hadn't, you know, followed in his footsteps. And all of a sudden I realized, you know, he was taken way before his time. And I thought, wow, this cancer diagnosis, if you like choose to be open about it, it's kind of like the baton was being passed to me and I can carry on my dad's legacy. As soon as I changed my focus from my cancer and my treatment to the fight against cancer and helping others, it changed everything. I could be able to learn things, share information, and help others.
Is there an area of cancer treatment that you feel people should really be aware of?
It is really, really important that anyone going through strong chemotherapy understand that they are at higher risk for infections. And you just really have to talk to your doctor about ways to lower your risk of getting an infection. And frankly, I encourage anyone living with cancer to educate themselves and feel empowered so you can be a proactive member of your healthcare team.
And to help others in their cancer fight, you're part of an educational initiative now, so tell us about it.
I'm really proud that I'm working with Amgen on athomewithjoan.com. On the site, you'll see my conversations with some really inspiring cancer patients that I've met who talk about what's helped them along their journeys. And you can also listen to my conversations with healthcare professionals about why it's important for patients to reduce that risk of infection.
Look, if you know someone who is battling cancer, seriously, go to athomewithjoan.com. Not only are there interviews with amazing women, but you can also download a guide of questions to ask your doctor about your risk of infection and treatment options. Thank you so much for being here and talking about this. And I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Joan London and Dr. Hans Breider. You know, there are some things that I just love about social media. Primarily, it lets me hear directly from you. I read all your comments and posts, and I came across this question from Shaheen126 on Instagram. He said, what's your pre-show routine? My pre-show routine, well, I get up at 5, I go out to Santa Monica Pier, and I swim about 5 miles out and back. Well, maybe not.
Oh.
No, actually, Robin rolls me out pretty early, and I start going through graphics and looking at video pieces and getting all the facts of the story fresh in my mind that I've been working on for a week. Because we do our homework, and I take this really, really serious. So I spend it getting ready for what I'm going to do right here when we start our work. So it's all focused on what I'm going to do for the day. So keep your Instagram and Twitter posts and Facebook comments coming. I just might read yours right here. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.